Well, everyone, let's go and take a look at the iPhone 12 and compare it against the iPhone SE second generation and see which particular iPhone is the better one for you. Now, I will probably tell you the iPhone 12 does have probably more of an advantage than the iPhone SE 2, but I will still say both these devices are very interesting, and we'll see which one is the better one when it kind of comes down to it. Now, first of all, if you want to pick up either one of these types of phones that I would recommend buying this year, links will be down in the description below. You can get them from there, and you can help support the channel at the exact same time. Now, starting off with the outside of these particular devices. With the iPhone SE second generation and with the iPhone 12, these are two different devices that came out a little bit of a different set of time ago. The iPhone 12 came out originally in 2020. So this phone is about 5 years old now, which is pretty insane to think about because it doesn't even feel like it's been 5 years, but I guess it already has been. And this phone came out at a time where the iPhone 11 was doing pretty good, but this phone came out of one of 4 different phones. They also dropped the mini lineup at this time too. With the iPhone 12, you're getting a 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. Now, within this type of phone and within this whole entire type of experience, this type of device is giving you a little bit of like a more interesting type of layout when it kind of comes down to it. So that is kind of one of those big things to keep in mind here. So within both these types of devices, they're both giving you like a good type of layout, a good type of experience, but the iPhone 12 is giving you an overall more, intriguing type of experience when it kind of comes down to it from that side. Now, on top of that, with something like the iPhone 12, this type of device is still, giving you the notch and everything like that, but the iPhone SE 2 is giving you a little bit of a different type of layout. The iPhone SE 2 is basically giving you this type of phone that is, I would say, a little bit more, it's a little bit older styling when it kind of comes down to it. So with the iPhone SE 2, this phone is giving you a 4.7-inch Retina IPS panel. So this one is an overall better type of panel for the most part. I would say it's going to be a little bit nicer looking and everything like that with the iPhone 12, but the SE2's panel still isn't terrible, but it is a little bit of an older styling of a device when it comes down to it as well. So just kind of keep that in mind too. Now, on top of that, with something like the iPhone SE second generation, this type of device is definitely going to be giving you a little bit of an older type of layout, right? Home button on the front, things like that. It is going to be a little bit of a different type of layout. But I will say for the most part, with the iPhone SE 2, it is going to be giving you a little bit of an older type of layout. They're both giving you lightning ports and everything like that, which is nice to have. But I will probably tell you, like I said, if you are going to go through and pick up a device, these types of devices still do a good job at giving you things that you would need, but maybe the other ones would give you a nicer type of experience. Now, on top of that, when it comes down to their, backs, the iPhone SE 2 and the iPhone 12 are both giving you glass backs, but the iPhone SE 2 is giving you this single camera setup, where the iPhone 12 is giving you this dual camera setup. So that right there is also going to be another big thing to keep in mind there as well, because you're going to be getting probably an overall better type of experience inside of that type of device too when it kind of comes down to it. Now, on top of that, another very big thing to keep in mind here too is the fact that both these phones are a little bit different, when it comes down to the prices, because they're not as expensive as they used to be, right? So with the iPhone SE 2, this phone costs about $160 right now in the used market, where the iPhone 12 pretty much will cost about $200 still, maybe a little bit less in the used market as well. So it just depends on like which type of device you want to go through and kind of pick up. But in my personal opinion, I do think this is going to be one of those types of devices you can kind of take a look at and kind of pick up depending on, the price tag situation that you kind of find yourself in. But I would still say no matter what, you're going to be getting a good, type of device experience on both when it kind of comes down to it from that side. So from that side too, that kind of covers it up there as well. Now, on top of that, when it kind of comes down to their cameras, they're both giving you these different type of camera layouts. So like I said before, the iPhone SE 2 is giving you this single 12 megapixel camera. And, it's a good looking camera. I think it's a good type of camera when it kind of comes down to it. With the iPhone 12, this is a dual 12 megapixel sensor. So with the iPhone 12, this one is giving you two 12 megapixel sensors. I think that one is an overall better type of experience. And, it is giving you the ultra-wide sensor. That's something that the iPhone SE 2 is just not giving you. and it would be a lot nicer to have that type of sensor when it kind of comes down to it. Unfortunately, with something like the iPhone SE2, this camera just really isn't that great, and that is probably one of the biggest downsides kind of buying a phone like this. You're just getting a device that is going to be a little outdated, and that's kind of one of the bigger, areas that are kind of annoying here for the most part when you're going through and buying a device like this. So, in my opinion, I feel like the iPhone 12 is probably going to be giving you an overall better type of camera than something like the iPhone SE2. As you can probably tell, I don't even think that's really that crazy of an opinion to have. I think it's pretty much what everyone would expect, in my personal opinion as well. So from that side, that kind of covers it up there as well. Now, on top of that, another very big thing to keep in mind here, as always, is that when it does kind of come down to both these types of devices, you're going to have to remember that within both these phones, they're both going to be showing their age quite a bit, right? That is kind of one of those big things to keep in mind here. Because if you're trying to go through and pick up a phone, you probably want to go ahead and buy a device that is probably going to be giving you a longer software support. The interesting thing here is that the iPhone SE2 is probably going to be giving you the longer lasting phone here for the most part. So that is kind of one of the more interesting things that kind of ends up happening here. If you're wanting the device that is going to be giving you a longer lasting support, you could probably look at something like an iPhone SE2, because that one is giving you a longer lasting device. So that right there, albeit it's not the biggest deal in the world and both these phones are still going to be supported with software for quite some time, if you are wanting the phone that is going to be giving you a longer lasting support, you could probably look at something like an iPhone SE2, and that one is probably going to be giving you the overall longer lasting phone when it comes down to it. So again, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but that is just another one of those really interesting things that kind of ends up happening when you have to kind of think about it from that side. So from that side too, that kind of covers it up there as well. And finally, when it comes down to the performance, this was always one of the really interesting things going on with some of these types of devices. With an iPhone SE2, this phone is basically giving you the Apple A15 Bionic chip inside with 4 gigs of RAM, where the iPhone 12 is giving you the Apple A14 Bionic chip inside with 4 gigabytes of RAM. So this right there is also another one of those really interesting kind of things to keep in mind here as well. Because if you're about to go through and buy a phone, you probably want to go through and get a phone that is still going to be giving you giving you good performance. Both these phones are giving you good performance, but the iPhone 12 is probably going to be the phone that is going to be giving you the overall slower performance by a little bit. The iPhone SE2, that one is going to be giving you kind of like the better type of experience. And I think that is kind of one of those things to keep in mind there. Because if you are about to go through and pick up a device, the iPhone SE2, I think, is going to be the one that is probably going to be giving you the faster type of device. And that is always one of those really interesting things to kind of keep in mind there for the most part, if you're going to go through and pick up a device there too. So in my personal opinion, I really do think both these phones, they're good types of devices. There's not anything really crazy going on with them for the most part. But if you are wanting to go ahead and get a device that is going to be giving you an overall better type of experience, I would probably say that, both these types of devices are going to give you really good type of capability. But if you are wanting the phone that is going to be giving you the kind of the next level up, then definitely something like an iPhone, 13 Pro and iPhone 14 Pro would be those types of devices that I'd recommend buying. With these ones, honestly, I just don't think it makes a lot of sense to go through and buy them. I think it makes a lot more sense to go and buy a device that is going to be a little bit better. And that's why I would look at something like an iPhone 13 Pro or an iPhone 14 Pro and those types of devices being the overall better ones for the most part. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that will mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.